If you're from Louisiana like myself, you're probably no stranger to the Mississippi Gulf Coast. Well, today, I would like to talk about two separate experiences I had staying in casinos in Biloxi, Mississippi. The first experience I'm going to talk about occurred in January of 2020, and the second one occurred in March of this year. In January of 2020, my wife and I spent the weekend in Biloxi, Mississippi, and we stayed at the IP Casino that's on Biloxi Bay right next to Interstate 110. I brought with me my Pentax film camera that was loaded with Tri-X 400 black and white film. Now, like most things in 2020, the weather did not cooperate. It was cloudy and rainy the whole time, not really the best conditions for taking pictures with black and white film. But I tried to make the best of it, and here are the best pictures from that roll of film I took. As I walked along Interstate 110, I thought I could get an interesting view of the bay. But considering the weather conditions, that didn't happen, and I only got a good picture of the walkway. I also got a few shots of this oak tree that was near the IP Casino's parking lot. Earlier that day, I walked along the beach and got some pictures of the loop and lighthouse. But again, none of these pictures really turned out like I hoped. But sometimes the weather works against you, and you have to take what you can get. I had a much better experience with my most recent stay in Biloxi. And in case you hadn't figured it out yet, my wife and I stayed at the Hard Rock Casino. Now, we did what you typically do in casinos, and we had a good night. But what I really want to share is that about a few hours before sunset, I went on top of the parking garage, and from that vantage point, I was able to get some great pictures of the city and the beach. When I started walking around the parking garage, I didn't know what to expect. But I was pleasantly surprised by how nice the view was from up here. I was able to get an interesting picture of the Hard Rock guitar, and as I walked along the top of the parking garage, I got some shots of Highway 90 in downtown Biloxi. With it being a clear, late afternoon, I could see the casinos there along Biloxi Bay, as well as the Biloxi Bay Bridge that leads to Ocean Springs. I didn't really have a plan for the pictures I wanted to take today. My wife and I were only staying in Biloxi for one night. So walking on the parking garage was more of a spur-of-the-moment decision instead of a well-thought-out plan to capture photos. This approach works for me because I like for the location and environment to influence the type of pictures that I'm making.